Now, the cool thing about Phantom and Beethoven is that it's not just actually it's not only the Phantom Opera ecosystem. Actually, it's also a part of another ecosystem, which is pretty cool. I have one issue with it, but I'm kind of bullish on it. Optimism. Optimism is a different L1 entirely. It is very closely connected to Ethereum. So I haven't really played around as much into that one, but I know that Tracker, that was one that you were really playing around with a lot. I believe it was Velodrome, if I'm correct, right? And that was one I
Yeah.
was trying to get into before Pulse Chain launched.
Before we dive in, before we dive in that one, go back to Beethoven. Go back to Beethoven, Jeff, because I wanted to show everybody how Beethoven you can switch between Phantom and Optimism. And I was looking out there. There's not a ton of LPs out there on Beethoven X for Optimism, but once we're done with that, we can go to Velodrome, and there's some like you want to get into DGen. This is DGen land.
Yeah.
Like this is where you're
It's
getting
newer.
1,000, 700, 800% APRs on these, and some of these hold up really well. Some of them really do hold up, but you got, like I said, you're playing a little risky. You're gonna have to really watch this stuff closely. Anyhow, go up there to that drop down where it says Phantom, top left hand corner. Switch to Optimism. It'll probably tell you to switch your wallet. You can connect your wallet again. So you just have to then, if you want to use this, you have to be on the Optimism network, which basically, it is a layer 2 to Ethereum. So your transaction fees are going to be much lower than Ethereum, but you're still going to have to watch it, because when we were getting a little bit bullish, I think in the run up back in April around that time, the transaction fees were still running around 50 cents. I think someone flirted with a dollar occasionally, which still is a lot lower than Ethereum had to deal with. But I would say Optimism, you're still going to have problems with those fees. Unlike Phantom, you're dealing with 10 cents a transaction. And so these are other things you have to take into consideration when dealing with it. But let's go into the investment. Is not the click on the investment button.
So
And
just
just take a
before we
look.
do that, I do want to kind of point out, hey, Jeff, can you connect the wallet? Let's go ahead and teach people how this works, because people get confused on this all the time. So connect wallet, click that. You wait for the computer to load.
Yeah, I went ahead and switched automatically for him because he already has
Okay, that's
Optimism.
good.
So it switches
Good.
for you. Yeah, it between Beethoven X, it does pretty good switching between these, but yeah, it does do good. So now think about it. When you're on the same site, just keep in mind that you are on a different network now. So you can't be thinking, oh, I got my Phantom. So you could have, in a case here, you could have some Phantom or some coins that were on the Phantom network, and you were on this site, and all of a sudden you switch them, like you don't see your coins anymore. It's because now you switch to the Optimism network. So you're not going to have the coins on there. You'd have to then also bridge them over, and you can do that on Spooky Swap. You can bridge them over there if you want. And there's other sites we can show you how to bridge them over, but you have to have your coins on Optimism to use this, even though it's the same exact site. Yes, the URL does change. It does when you swap between that drop down, but just wanted to give you a heads up. It is two actual different sites, even though it seems seamless to the UI you're working in right here. But yeah, you can see there's not much activity happening on here. This is it. This is all the coins they have. But when I was here in April, there was a lot more to pick from, and there was actually some really juicy ones that were three digits. Some of the plays that I had out here were so VLO was one, which is that's the incentive token off of Velodrome. It was on here. Okay, here we go. All right, cool. Click on
I lost you.
the
Cut out a
sorry,
little bit.
man.
Say it one more time,
On
please.
the top of the table, APR table. Click on the APR and let's sort by that. All right, cool. Thanks. So right now, the highest one you got is basically 31%. You can see all these are small, which honestly, some of these volumes are just like there's nothing. So you got to be real careful. I would not go in, and that's the other thing. I would not get into anything. There's a certain threshold where you should be warning you do not get in, and that's like you get into these like then down to like anything sub 10,000, I would just shy away from immediately. that's something else you got to be careful on. But there are some really good coins down in here, combinations. Let's see here. Right now, honestly, I'm not seeing currently anything here that I would probably get into. Let me see. To give you an idea, some of the ones that I was getting into that were on here. On this one, I think you did have, let me see here. The grain train was one. That was grain, wrapped ETH, earn, and grain. I'm sorry, those three. It was just those three. Earn, wrapped ETH, and grain was a good one. That was called the grain train. Another one I was in was just grain and earn. Earn is one that's been popping up a lot consistently. That coin's price has been, it fluctuates quite a bit, but it actually has done pretty well on the long haul. But that coin does pretty good with this one. VLO is another good one that does really well. But so I did pretty well in some of these. I would get in, I'd make my trades, and I'd get out. But right now, there's not a whole lot of activity here, so I probably wouldn't mess too much with this. I'd say let's go ahead and jump over to Velodrome, and people can see what like extreme degen looks like.
Yeah, and it really was, because when I was starting to go through Velodrome, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to jump in all these, I'm going to do this and that, and I was like, I don't have enough capital yet, and so I was like, you know what? Okay, so I got a big DCA coming here pretty soon, and then all of a sudden Pulse Chain launched, and I was like, oh, I was so close into it. Otherwise, I was planning things out, and yeah, you're not lying. Like, I think when I first jumped in there, obviously the first thing I do is like, what's the highest APRs? Let's have a look at that. And I actually got confused because I was like, well, okay, I went to the highest APRs, and I've got like these 10,000 ones. I've got 1,000 ones down here, and I had to like start scrolling through things, and they're just all shit coins. And I'm like, oh, damn it. Okay, maybe I'll look for specific coins that I like, start there, and then go through the shit coins later, you know?
Exactly. Click on APR, and you're going to see some monsters jump out. So right at the top, you got over 1,000% APRs. Now, would I get into any of those out the gate? Hell no. But slow tight right here. So wouldn't it be interesting? I mean, people who want to do DGN, that Velodromes, that's the incentive token, VELO. That's their incentive token to get. Now, if you I mean, you don't have to bring up the price chart, but the price chart is done very well. It holds up great. Why? Because look at how many liquid pools that thing is tied to at these high APRs. And well, now we're going to talk about other ecosystems, but I could see Pulse Chain doing the same thing with the earn incentive token, the incentive token they have, the one you earn. I can see that being used like this. I can completely see it. And you can also do single-sided staking for Velodrome. The price is done really nicely over the course. It started off real low, then it ramped up real high, then it's chopped around a little bit in a nice trade range, then it dipped down with the rest of the market, and then it's come back right back up again. It's at like, I want to say 13 cents. It's been jumping around between 20 and 10 cents for the last so many months. So Velodrome that you're earning is actually a solid coin. And Velodrome Pepe, if you want to go degen, that would be a good degen one personally. I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm just saying if you wanted to do something that you can get you a high APR that is degen, this would be the one to do it, because Pepe's got a lot of momentum. Velodrome is holding up and chopping, but it's holding up very well, and you're earning Velodrome. So you could get into this one, earn for a little bit, and then you can also take the incentives and maybe get out in a short period of time. Maybe something this high APR, if it starts to go down, maybe get out a little sooner than later. But I'm just saying there's just some plays here that you, like I said, if you want to get into some bigger plays, this is it. But once again, you got to make sure that the APRs are there. Let me connect to my wallet on my side. I want to take a look at something real quick over here.
You know, I found it really funny because when I was going through the APRs, I was like, oh, okay. Shitcoin. No. Right. I'm just looking at these like, hell no. And then all of a sudden I see the Pepe, and I was like, hey, that Pepe is actually, that would be worth it for a little bit. Not even gonna lie. That'd be a short-term strategy right there. APR chasing. I think that one would work legitimately. I love all the Opti Doge, by the way. I don't know if you're seeing that.
Yeah, dude, they come out with some of the craziest ones on here that are just absolute. I mean, they're horrible, but
it's fun. It's fun.
but some of them are really bad. I want to when you sit there. I'm looking over on my end right now. I just wanted to take a look at something because I wanted to see want to connect.
There's a coin that's literally called Extra, and it's paired with USDC at almost 4.5 percent, right? Or sorry, 4.500%. Extra USDC. Huh, that sounds like a good one to get into, huh? That's not a rug at all. There's 400,000 on the on the volume though. That's something to kind of look at. I'm not even gonna lie. That's nothing to sneeze at there.
Can we see liquidity?
Yeah. So the liquidity itself is 235,000 USDC with 235 million USDC with 9 million extra. It's so funny to say that word. Just 9 million extra.
So like I said, on some of these, so what I was doing, I was jumping in and out of these. I would jump into some of these for maybe a week, 2 weeks, earn really good bags. And then like if I was in something that was at 700% and all of a sudden it's now worked its way down to like 300% APR or the total lock value started to drop. I started going down. I was okay, I'm at time to get out and on to the next one. Scroll up though, look at the grain one, that one up here, grain and earn. That one has been a good one that's been getting in. That one would be a good one. So both of those, Pepe and Vel and then Earn and Grain, you can get into here, get them. Like I said, I mean, be nimble. You can get into these for like a couple weeks and earn some really good change on these. And these coins do actually do pretty well. These coins have held up. Grain's been chopping, but it's fine in its both Earn, Grain, Pepe and Vel. I can see all of those pump at different times, or they could be volatile certainly, but these all have momentum behind them. So, and those APRs are very, very juicy. So you can get into that. Let's scroll down and see. Let's just see what else we got on here.
One thing. So I've been kind of noticing this over many of them. Oh yeah, red. Actually, I wanted to ask about red. I saw
go up on red. Red. Scroll up a little bit, and you see red. It starts a red coin. There you go. So OP and red. This one has been always up here for a while too. This one's been very interesting as well. So these APRs are holding up really strong. So Velodrome has done very well on staking and LPs. Like matter of fact, I'm looking on my side on DeFi Llama. So if you go to Optimism on my 1, 2, 3, 4, Optimism is the 5th largest, total volume locked, that's out there, or total volume, whatever, TOVL. That one has been number 5 on the list behind Ethereum, Tron, Binance, Arbitrum, and Polymatic. So Optimism's there, and guess who's number 1 on the Optimism network? It's Velodrome. They have 242 million total volume locked on that chain. So it's definitely the dominant one on the Optimism's network. Red, I think, was sometimes it was like a gaming coin of some sort. That one's been chopped. That one was very volatile, and it was doing really well for a while. Let me see how it's been holding up lately. Just curious.
So back in February and March, when I was kind of messing around with Velodrome for a short period of time, I was seeing red popping up everywhere, and I was like, I should be doing this, but I want to build my Phantom bag first, and so I ended up not actually chasing around those and not refining my strategy as well. So this was a little bit of a learning curve for me, going into red and choosing Phantom instead. And so I ended up learning more about Phantom just because of that alone. However, this is definitely something I would like to get into even more come as soon as I'm happy enough with my Pulse Chain bags.
Yep. Click on OP and I mean the red one, and I'm gonna know. Did it tell us when did that LP get created? I'm really curious if it's the same one they've had the whole time. Yeah. See how they're lacking. You can just look at Beethoven X. It would give you all that information. Yeah. This one doesn't really give you much. It's very bleak. But I think this is the same one that's been around probably since red came out. Oh, this is not red. This is OP and Veal. This is a good combination coin here, actually. It's 77%. So you're getting an L1 Optimism, which is the L1 of Optimism, OP, and you're getting the incentive token, Velodrome, that is the main earning incentive token for Optimism / Velodrome, which is the number 1, obviously, staking platform on the network. So this is a really good combination. So these coins have held up pretty well in value. OP has been chopping with the rest of the market. It's going to hold up real. OP has been doing really well. A lot of VCs in that one. They're not going to let that one die and tank. I can tell you that now. Velodrome, like I said, the incentive, the token itself, like I said, is still doing really well. Just to give you guys going back to that one again, I know I've talked about it quite a bit now, but I was just very impressed to see an incentive token hold up as well as it's done, because I'm so used to seeing incentive tokens come out and they just tank. But you can see while they're able to do it, they're tying it to these high LPs, so you don't want to give up on it. You want to own it. Looking at Velodrome, right now it's at 13 cents. When it came out back in, so Velodrome hasn't been around that long, I can tell you too. I'm trying to look at my chart when it came out. It came out in 2022, but the price of the token had been chopping right around 1 to 2 cents, and then right around beginning of the year when the market obviously started pumping, it pumped as well and went from 2 cents all the way up to like 23 cents, and then it started finding this range where it was chopping between, we'll say a good range was really defined between 21 cents and about 12 cents. Around that range. So that was a good swing trade. If you were earning, Velodrome and then selling it on those peaks and then gaining it and repothecating and then, accumulating as it dipped and keep doing that rinse and repeat, you could really build up your bags very nicely. And then of course it pulled back with the rest of the market. It got down to 7 cents, but now it's back up to 13 cents. So Velodrome is here to stay. I don't see it going away. I just don't. To be honest, I don't know enough about how inflationary it is or potentially deflationary. I'm pretty sure it's inflationary because people are earning it, but I don't know how their burning mechanism for that works. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you right now that they have they do have what do you call that? B Velodrome, right? B Velo. So it's basically the exact same thing as Beats and Xboo or MA Beats, Ma Beats, bro, and X Boo. Jesus, I can't speak English.
Nice. No, I got
so
you.
they
No,
have the
that's
same
good.
thing going on.
Nice, yep. Very nice. Okay, so just like we said, okay, yeah. So you can probably single side stake the Velodrome, and you can also then earn other coins or other incentives too as well. But Red, that one has done very well too. That coin has done very well, and I think it is a gaming ecosystem coin of some sort. Don't quote me on that, but when I was watching this one, this price has done some really significant stuff. So I was really wanting to get in here because I saw it pull back and I wanted to pull in, but that's right around when Pulse Chain came out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put everything on the burner. So in March, it came out around March. It came in around $1. We'll say it came in right around, I don't know, $1.20, we'll say. But then it would be by May 10th all the way until April 30th, which was the peak of that bull run that we kind of had. It went from, let's say, $1.20 all the way up to $5.85. That's a heck of a move. And OP wasn't too shabby during that run either. It wasn't as nearly as strong as Red, but Velodrome did very well. And then of course it pulled all, and then Red pulled all the way back at the bottom into June at $2. Now it's right back up to $5. So Red is another one that's very interesting. It seems to be doing really well. And I have a feeling when they're tied to these LP coins, these LPs that are paying high APRs, it's another incentive to people not to dump the coin. So people are going to chase these APRs. So these are coins that are, if they get that traction and they get the people locking in on them, holding those coins, the yield on them, they're going to do well. And that you're seeing it being clearly evident. And I think that is kind of the reason why we're talking about yield farming and LPs. We're not trying to say go hardcore with your entire bag of your entire portfolio. What we're saying is use these LPs, build up your earnings, and then take those earnings and put them into ecosystems that you want to put them into. So these are just good strategies to cultivate more coins. But yeah,
which is great. And actually, I would like to add on to that. So if you could go back over to the actual pools themselves, go to the very first page of the pools, you're going to see something very interesting. I want you to go to Red OP and then look down two spots from there. Okay. And are you on highest APRs right now? There we go. Yep. Go to Red OP. Now, here's what I'm seeing. All right. So exactly as you were saying there, Tracker, with these coins being specifically tied to the incentive tokens and all that, look at like two of them directly below. We have this thing called Velo Blue. Velo Blue, and it just so happens that if you're looking at the design of the token itself, it's pretty damn close to red, right? It's also blue, BLU, 3, right? 3 letters, the exact same thing as red. Now, if you're going scrolling through all these highest APRs with actual good decent amount of TVL, you're actually seeing a lot of blue in there. I think blue is basically like version 2 of the red coin. Now, just going through these alone, I'm able to see that. If we dove deeper into it, I bet you we would find that that's the truth, and that's actually the new play right now. It's not red anymore. Now it's blue. Man, I don't know. I wonder what's next, right? But this is something that when you're going through these, all of these liquidity farms and all that, right? Watch for this stuff. Watch for it. Look at the history of some of these that you're kind of like you're seeing pop up all the time, or that were big news before, but really weren't quite. But now you've got new coins that kind of look the same. So it's just a little something I wanted to add on to into there. But are you done, Tracker? Like, if you got everything down and we're ready to go on to Binance Chain?
Actually, I wanted to just double check. Can you click on that? Is that Blue Nova? Is that what that coin is? Yeah, it is. It's got the same icon. All right, so check it out. So I wanted to look at that based on your theory. So blue, so blue, since it came out. So when blue came out, it was at, we'll say, 0.0013. Now it's already at 2.5 cents. And that's just from May 19th until now. So it's had a pretty solid run there in that short period of time. That's a solid run. So your theory is right. If you see them pop up on these high APRs, the coins are going to run well with them too. So keep that in mind. So yeah, I mean, another solid strategy.